Hi everyone, it's Mark here from Frinton Free Church. I really hope you are having a good day. Before I hand over to Sally with today's thought for the day, quick message from me to say that from Monday the 5th of October, thought for the day is changing. We've been doing these videos most days of the week since the start of the pandemic, and we feel it's right to change things. So from next week, you will be able to get a thought for the day on a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday. But don't forget, that's not the only way that you can connect with our church online. On a Monday morning at 9 o'clock, we have a Zoom prayer meeting. On a Thursday evening at 7 o'clock, we have a Zoom prayer meeting. And of course, every Sunday, there's Sunday Online, which goes live on our YouTube channel at 11 o'clock in the morning. So take advantage of all those different opportunities to tune in to what's happening here at The Free. And I do hope you will continue to follow Thought for the Days on a Monday, a Wednesday and a Friday. I'm going to hand you over to Sally now.
Morning everyone, it's Sally again here, and for today's Thought for the Day I'm going to share with you the life story of someone who is probably fairly well known to you, but you may not know all the details of his life. And the author and evangelist J. John has been writing about some of his favourite historical figures over the summer, and William Wilberforce was one of those that he chose to write about. He's very well remembered for his battle against slavery, but he did so much good work in other areas too. So he was born into a Yorkshire family and he became an MP in 1780. And at that point, he was later to admit that at that point he had no other ambition than to promote his own career. In 1784, his life changed when he converted to the Christian faith. He took his new relationship with God so seriously that he considered becoming a clergyman, but accepted advice to stay in politics. He soon became involved with other Christians who were determined to work out their faith in changing society for the better. For many of them, the pressing issue of the time was the abomination of slavery and the evil trade associated with it. Wilberforce joined them, and gifted with eloquence, he became the champion of the anti-slavery cause and made it his life's mission. Though bitterly opposed by those who had interest in what was a very profitable business, Wilberforce persistently introduced bills from 1789 onwards to abolish first the slave trade and then slavery itself. Despite defeat after defeat, he persisted until finally in 1833, just 3 days before his death, the British government passed the bill to abolish slavery. His lifelong battle had been victorious. But Wilberforce was also involved in many other social issues. He campaigned on behalf of single mothers, orphans, Sunday schools, juvenile delinquents, as they were called then, and children employed as chimney sweeps. He helped set up many organisations such as the Church Missionary Society and the British and Foreign Bible Society. And he was a founder member of one of the first charities against animal cruelty, what is now the RSPCA. Although it has what is now an unfashionable title, his Society for the Suppression of Vice stood against many of the social evils of his day and sadly ours: drunkenness, corruption, prostitution and animal cruelty. In these days, when every figure of the past is scrutinised by whatever standards are currently held, there are those who might find fault with Wilberforce. He was as much a man of his time as we are of ours, and on many social issues was very conservative. Yet, as he would be the first to agree, the ultimate issue is not how any of us measures up against the fluctuating and ever-changing standards that our culture creates, but how we measure up against those of God. Indeed, if we are to condemn, we should remember that to judge is to be judged. If we point a finger in accusation, it means that 3 fingers point back at us. After all, it's not as though we live in a time of no evils or injustice. Were he alive today, I think Wilberforce would be a busy man. Let me suggest 5 things that challenge me about William Wilberforce. Firstly, he applied his faith. As many Christians have done before and since, he could easily have separated his spiritual life from his daily work, but he didn't. With Wilberforce, there was a wonderful harmony between what he believed and what he sought to achieve. Secondly, he served in costly leadership. A small, frail man with poor health, Wilberforce willingly took on a role that he knew would make him a target. We may view him as little short of a saint today, but for many of his contemporaries, he was a man of dangerous ideas who deserved to be criticised and obstructed. He paid the price for leadership. Thirdly, he had determination. Wilberforce persisted in his battle against slavery, not just for months or years, but for decades. He realised his calling and he stuck with it. His was truly a purpose-driven life. Fourthly, he had wisdom. Wilberforce was a strategic thinker. He sought the support of others and built friendships and alliances from as wide a circle as possible. And fifthly, he guarded his spiritual life. With all his involvements and activities, Wilberforce could easily have had his faith crushed under the weight of his duties and responsibilities, that he knew that only God could be the source of the strength he needed. To the very end of his life, he remained permanently dependent on the grace of God. He was an example of a true conversion to Christ. Today, some are cynical of an individual becoming converted or being born again. If any sort of change to faith is talked about, it's that of a gradual process or some sort of spiritual journey. The unarguable reality with Wilberforce is that he did undergo a dramatic, transforming conversion. He reminds us that conversions do happen and they can have remarkable effects. And finally, given that Wilberforce was already a member of Parliament when he converted to the Christian faith, it inspires me to pray for the same thing to happen to today's politicians. And perhaps you'd like to pray for them today as well. Have a great day. Thank you.